Hi there. Nobody needs to reiterate how much damage is going to occur because of this virus. People are going to die of this virus. At the very least, there are many people who will lose their jobs. They will probably lose a lot of money. Certainly people have lost money in the stock market. But let's look at it through another standpoint. Let's look at it through the standpoint of Pirsig's philosophy. From that standpoint, it has an important element. It's dynamic. This is something that is really shaking up our whole way of thinking and being in the world. So there are a few concepts from Pirsig's work that I like a lot, like the train metaphor, for example. And I bring them up a lot because they really work. They're great concepts. And one of these, and the one for today, is that of the brujo, the shaman, the magician. So the brujo exposes what isn't working anymore. In Lila, the brujo is a mischievous misfit, and he certainly makes the establishment angry and frustrated and scared, because the brujo exposes the flaws of a system that has now closed off access to the dynamism that created it. It closes itself off to change. It just wants to stay the way it is because it's working for the people who are running it. It's in order to preserve the status quo. There are some things that are collectively, because we're all in this together, that collectively, as a world global culture, we're kind of seeing problems with, things that are too rigid. That's what we're looking at now. So here are some areas in which stagnation can be exposed, opened up to be receptive to dynamic quality. Here's one that sounds pretty mundane, but has far-reaching implications. There's one thing that's been slow to change, and that is telework. So companies have really dragged their feet in allowing more telework, probably because the system still wants to see people around to visually validate everyone's position in that hierarchy, which was certainly established in person over a long period of time. But this is sort of a trap, and if the system were to have a trap that Pirsig would have described in chapter 26, the Gumption Chautauqua, we would say this is an ego trap. And this trap will likely be resolved by the efficiency that develops as the entire world works out how to do many, if not most, jobs online. And with everyone staying home in China, for example, we saw the horrific smog and pollution of Beijing improve. So what this coronavirus may be telling us is if we get this telework thing right, we can significantly improve the climate problem. So how about that? Right now, in general, we don't miss going to the office, but we do miss seeing our friends. Can you imagine how it would be a much higher quality world, one in which we would become so efficient in running it that the only time we really need to see each other is when we want to? Imagine that this reminds us that being social in the real world is more valuable than being social on social media. And being online in the business world is more valuable than going to and being at the office. The brujo has laid bare the biological reality that we often forget because we're so comfortable. And we're so captivated by the virtual world, a world that doesn't actually exist. So at this biological level, which we are back in touch with now, we come face to face with the reality of existence. And the many things that were so important to us seem laughable. And it's been interesting to see how easy it is for people's problems to instantly resolve when there's a much bigger problem looming. And once the problems go away, these smaller problems, can we remember, after this is all over, can we remember that they were much more trivial than we gave them credit for? Can we come out of this more mentally healthy? The bigger problem is a real shakeup, this coronavirus. And it is making people literally reevaluate their values and their relationship with reality. This is actually why psychedelics work. Why do you think brujos and shamans use them? Now, I'm a therapist, so I don't trivialize psychological problems. On the other hand, I see that a lot of them are the result from being in a position of having too few problems, to having this kind of comfort, to having no situation that we really have to overcome all that much. Things are too comfortable, they're too stagnant. Can we come out of this more mentally resilient and less prone to focus on the supposed unhappiness that this pampered state promotes? We have direct proof that we are capable of dropping these issues if we have to. Wouldn't it be nice if we really were to understand that that capability is always there? Mother Nature is bigger than we are, and we need a little of that humility again. Now we have it. For thousands of years, our relationship with reality was one of respect of the dynamism of nature. Now we think we're gods and we can conquer it. This has been since we went towards seeing the world as objects that we can maneuver and less as seeing ourselves as a part of a greater force that we're within. So now, since we've had the subject-object world for so long, we can have the best of both worlds, of the subject-object world and of the reality where quality is the base reality. If we change the way we see the world with this understanding that we are not gods, but we're not pawns either, and this has been proven by the benefits that we have reaped from the subject-object way of understanding, this great progress, the fact that we are able to live in these comfortable worlds where, these trivial problems become so huge. So perhaps after this, we can see ourselves as conduits of quality that can work in a beautiful dynamic with technology that respects nature and works with it rather than tries to conquer it. I'm going to say that, to take the business and put it into the virtual world and to take the social world and put it back into the real world is a way of working with technology that is high quality. Anyway, if we can see the quality in this, if we pay attention to what emerges, that's better. And I think that in this state of mind, this is what we call stuckness, because there's nothing we can do right now except just, take stock of ourselves and our lives. This whole coronavirus thing, as bad as it is, might be the brujo that causes us to wake up. So I hope that made sense, and I will see you next time.